places like YouTube or any other social media platform, you learn two things: how not to farm and how to farm. So the issue is that you need to have a gray matter that can sieve things to say, is this a good example of how to farm or how not to farm?
Lovely good afternoon to you. Right now I'm in Panuka farm, Panuka farm 2. So Panuka means being intelligent, sharp, eh? So that is what it means. So when you are here, you have to be intelligent. If you are not, you'll be quickly become intelligent, because this is Panuka 1. So there is version 1 of being intelligent, and there's also version 2, which is actually more intelligent, and that's where I am right now. So I'm with Mr. Panuka, a very intelligent old youth man who wants to live a life that is meaningful and that is impactful. If you check on Panuka Agribusiness, he's the brain behind that. And you see, Mr. Panuka doesn't just talk farming; he does farming. He has been doing it for more than close to 2 decades. A decade is equals to 10 years, so we are talking about close to 20 years. For the sake of peace, we are not going to say 20 years, but technically speaking, he has been in the industry for a very long time and has done extensively. If you remember very well, this is the farm actually which the vice president of America, the most powerful country in the world, whether you like it or not, whether you believe it or not, America is very powerful, and that powerful country came to this powerful farm. So, Mr. Panuka, I have a few questions for you, especially for a youth like me.
Yeah.
And I must say thank you so much for the mentorship. Mr. Panuka doesn't go like this. Just he tells you that the shenanigan. He tells you nothing but the truth. I've made so many mistakes, and thank you for the good news you brought to me on how I should work on my water.
Yeah.
He's my mentor in terms of water and land utilization. So how do how have you learned all these things? What has been your way of education?
Well, I believe in what is called action research.
Action research.
Action research.
I'm hearing that for the first time. What do you mean action research?
So action research is basically you learn by doing.
Okay.
So when things don't go well, you quiz. Why did these things go wrong? And then next time, don't repeat this. And then you learn from there. But of course, there's quite a lot of research that we do. YouTube is actually one of the best teachers, but you also need to be very cautious that from places like YouTube or any other social media platform, you learn two things: how not to farm and how to farm. So the issue is that you need to have a gray matter that can sieve things to say, is this a good example of how to farm or how not to farm? Because even learning how not to farm is still learning, so that you don't repeat or recycle or regurgitate some of those mistakes. So basically, I would actually say, go and look up what action research really entails, but it's about learning by doing. It's more impactful, it's more indelible, it actually sticks, than just something that comes to you or rhetoric. Yeah.
No, thank you. So I've learned 2 words, which I will not tell you. If you haven't learned them, please go review and learn. So then second, one thing that I respect you for is you are an action-oriented man. When you call me to come and install the solar, you give me a deadline when that should be done.
Yeah.
And you say, young man. When I just hear young man, I know I'm in. Because even today I was supposed to be home, but he just called, said, young man. I knew that I'm in trouble, and I had to rush here and administer to the problem. So, but the point is, there are people that plan. So what is it for you? Like, what really, like, when these things that I'm seeing here, it was just words.
Yeah.
But you are a person who acts on what you do. What really gets you to do what you say, what you plan?
Mainly is clarity of mind.
Clarity. So
clarity of mind. Okay.
No, wait. You are saying clarity of mind. So
clarity of mind.
If you don't plan, if you plan and don't do, meaning in your mind you're not clear.
You're not very clear. And then there's also a saying that measure twice and cut once.
Measure twice and cut
and
once.
cut once.
Okay.
So the issue is, you see it like a cloth. If you just go on and cut, and then that's the only material that you've got, unfortunately, that's a lot of waste of money and whatever. That's why the key lesson there is that there must be quite a lot of planning that goes in, so that by the time you go in, you're actually going with a very precise cut, and then you get it right. So I think that's one of the issues. But of course, maybe that's my background. That also pushes me to be action oriented. I don't like lullabies, you know.
No, let me just clear the air. When he talks about the background, hey, last time I told you this man, if you check his hands, I will not show you, but I know he's a military person. So when he says, you know, he doesn't just want to tell you. So that, but I think that is very, very, yeah. So meaning there's need of planning and executing.
But again, when I talk about planning, there's also those that are specialists in planning in perpetuity. You know, you are collecting quotations to fence quotations on irrigation every year. You know, you are recycling yourself, regurgitating, and you see. So when I talk about, you know, planning, it must not be planning in perpetuity. There must be a timeline when you actually get to act, because the real learning in farming is about acting. You know, being in school, whether you spend 10, 15 years in class, you will never learn how to farm. The real learning of how to farm is put that seed in the ground, and then once you see what the vegetables or any other product that you're actually farming, it basically teaches you now. It gives you feedback, and then from there it's a looping system, and then you keep refining your art. So planning, yes, but not in perpetuity.
Thank you so much for those insights. And you see, one thing that I've learned from people that have succeeded, in most cases they speak unapologetically, because they know that what they are saying is the truth. They don't speak with doubts. Even in their selection of words, they are very precise. Like, you know, planning in perpetuity.
Well, I mean, there are people who are like that. You know, you meet them every year. No, Mr. Panuka, how much is fencing? Mr. Panuka, how much is seed for? How much does it cost to do 1 hectare of banana? They forget, by the way. Next year, they will be the same people. You meet them. Mr. Panuka, this. Like, hey. So this brother or sister hasn't really acted on the advice that I gave. You know, and then keep abusing my intellectual acumen, you know.
Acumen.
Yeah.
Anyway, you see, now look at the benefits that I get when I interact with Mr. Panuka. Now, this is, you know, part of it, and we've been together for some hours. So now, you see, and there's a platform called Panuka Agribusiness, where you can even spend more hours with him and sit at his feet and learn from him. Now, this is not a man who speaks from without. There is a source, there's integrity. Yeah, the word is integrity. The word integrity, it means you don't have the right to talk about what you've not done. There is no integrity there. You should have an integrity compass. So what are you telling us? What have you done? Yeah? Let me tell you a story. In Southern Province, when they're in a meeting, when someone contributes, depending on what they have contributed, they ask him one question. Now, if you have got no cows, you can't answer me.
You can't.
But I think you have earned the authority to talk about farming, because you have demonstrated this is not easy. It's not easy. If you think it's easy, check how your backyard garden is looking like. Just not your farm, just your backyard garden. Then you understand what we are talking about. Then lastly, it's always exciting to talk to you.
Thank you.
Lastly, what would you encourage those that want to, you know, to become farmers? Because there's an outbreak of farming, and I've seen so many people that are excited, you know, to get into farming, and most of them, they are solicites. And actually, as I was sharing with me, I don't know. Sometimes when I sit down, I just thank God. I don't know how I got here. But I've been doing the best that I've seen so many people, you know, and all those things. So what does it really take to succeed in farming if you want to get into farming?
The first thing is to cross-check whether you're actually meant to farm.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's not everybody that can farm. So sometimes you do what in local lingo is what is called shipikisha.
Local lingo.
Yeah, you're basically just forcing yourself to get into this space, but it's not meant for you. Probably you are meant to do Saraula, you probably should just put your money in fixed income securities like bonds, treasury bills. So this is not for everybody, and that I think is the first lesson. Because if you're just forcing yourself to come into this space, and then you don't have the fabric, basically to get into this space, given the uniqueness of the agribusiness, as it were, then unfortunately it's gonna be quite a long journey. So I think for me, that's the first thing. Are you really wired to be in this space? Because it's got its own unique nuances. That might be too challenging if you're not wired, to really withstand with the ambulances that come with this business.
With the ambulances.
So I think that's number one.
Okay.
But afterwards, you must be teachable, you must be malleable, doctor, as they say, because the issue is this business by its nature is that it's got quite a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah.
But what I think what will propel you is that tenacity and belief in what you are doing. But then you have to be learning, because sometimes you don't learn. Today powdery mildew hits you. You don't have that inquisitive student mindset to say, hey, why do I find myself in this space? So that thing doesn't recur. So sometimes there are people who actually repeat the same mistakes. So for me, I think those are some of the key nuances in terms of how you really have to get into this space in terms of mindset, but also what will keep you going. Keep learning and keep refining your art. But one thing I also indicate is farming has to first start with making sure that you sanitize your brain. In terms of all those intellectual cobwebs, you really need to push in quite a lot of learning so that you have the right mindset, right knowledge to actually get into this space, because it's quite technical. And I think what you probably see with Panuka, there's quite a lot of learning. I mean, I do consult even from you, many other people. Okay, so you really have to consult. But of course, also you have to have a team on the ground. But that should be the right team, because you see, just merely having home bodies that are not functional, that's unfortunately, so people is a very critical component to farming. But beyond that, it's also the foundation, what I usually call best infrastructure in my lessons. For you to see this, you need water, but that water also needs some form of electricity. You see that? So you set up the right best infrastructure. Sometimes we actually want to scale up, but then the infrastructure itself cannot support your big ideas. You didn't do a good job in setting up the foundation. So the critical issue is lay the right foundation. And these are some of the things that we teach on the Panuka Agribiz. Of course, much as we focus much more on agribusiness and not so much about the science of agriculture. But I think those are some of the ethos that we basically, push within the Panuka Agribiz Hub, because we think 50% of success in farming is about making sure that you sanitize your brains and feed it with the right information. That way, then you kind of almost guaranteed with success.
You've gotten these ethos. But anyway, honestly, with a very sober mind. No chani, with my very proper, sober, organic mind, this is a place where you can get things. I come here frequently and I learn so much, and I've learned so much already here. And also I would want to thank you and appreciate you for the initiative of making this information available to those that are serious. And there's a filtering rain to distinguish. Even when you go into heaven, it's not every Jim and Jack who is going to heaven. You see? As much as people want to go to heaven, there is a process, there's a sieving. You see? So, and I think on Agribiz, you've put the sieving process. And every serious person, like today I'm going to get a book on farming as a business, because I want to, if you think I'm farming, I'm still learning. I just want to do things at a very different level. Very different. I don't want to jokes. If you want to jokes, go somewhere else. But if you are serious, this is the platform. And you can only be serious when you're dealing with serious people. Otherwise, thank you so much.
All right, young man. It's always a pleasure to host you here.
I'm so humbled.
Yeah.
I'm coming back again, I can guarantee you. And this production, the team on the ground, they are doing a very commendable job. But it's also a clear indication that the leader this is the example that he has what?
Well, they say a fish rots from the head down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From the head down.
Yeah.
Even if it swims like this,
Yeah.
but
Yes.
no, thank you so much. And you people, make sure that you follow Panuka Agribiz, share with others. These are platforms where we can learn real things, real farming, and save a lot of money. For now, have a great day. Wishing you more. And it's a radical farmer right here at Panuka. If you want to visit Panuka, to some of you, it will not be easy as it is easy for me. But when you go through the Agribiz, it may simplify life for you. Stay blessed and stay super organic.
Thank you.